Good morning, Year 3-4. It's Mrs. Martin here, ready to take you through our English lesson today. Hopefully we are right back into the swing of our learning now, after getting on with our wonderful lesson yesterday, where you've sent us in some fantastic work on your vocabulary. Hopefully you also did a super job of practicing your story map and beginning to learn that off by heart, as that will really help you, especially when we come on to our innovation later on. So when we start writing our own discussion. So in your books, please, can you write for me the date and the LO? So our learning objective today, we are going to be looking at writing some others sentences. So writing some others sentences. When you've got your date and your LO, can you have a think for me and see if you can remember what a discussion is? And perhaps you could have a go at writing a definition as well. So pause the video here for me while you write your date and LO, please. Okay, hopefully you have remembered that a discussion is when you have to give two sides of the argument. So in our discussion, we were looking at why people should have a dog, and we were looking at why people shouldn't have a dog. So we looked at both points of view. Okay, the first thing I would like you to do then is to please practice your story map. So all of the resources that you will need for this are still on our class page under Monday the 22nd of February. So that's all of the stuff from yesterday. Now you've got the video of Miss Smith pointing to the different words. You've got the video of Mrs. Whiteman doing the actions, if that's what helps you. You've also got your story map on there and the model text as well. So pause the video here for me and have a go at practicing your story map. Okay, hopefully there are lots of bits that you are beginning to learn off by heart already. So today we are going to be looking at a type of sentence. Some of you may have seen this sentence before. Others may not be as sure. And there I've even used a some others sentence as I was talking to you. So what is a some others sentence? It has two parts to it. So our first part begins with the word some. Some flowers are pink. After our first part, we have this special punctuation here. Does anybody know what this punctuation is called? Well done if you did know what this punctuation is called. It's called a semicolon, and I've just put one here for you. So a semicolon is basically like a comma on the line, and then a full stop floating in the air. So there's our full stop almost floating in the air in the middle, and our comma at the bottom. That is called a semicolon. What's it called? Well done, it's called a semicolon. So our sentence starts with the word some. Some flowers are pink. Semicolon. Then after the semicolon, we have the word others. And there we describe something else. Some flowers are pink, semicolon. Others are bright yellow. So we're comparing two things. Some are this, others are that. And the important thing is that we have this punctuation in between. Can you remember what that punctuation is called? Well done, it's called a semicolon. So let's have a look at a couple of examples. Some people love football, others just can't stand it. Some people love football, semicolon, others just can't stand it. Can you see that we start with some? After our first clause, we have a semicolon, and then we start our second clause with others. Of course, I always need my full stop at the end. Some days are full of enjoyment. Others begin and end terribly. And of course, what punctuation have I got in between? That's right, my semicolon. Some days are full of enjoyment, semicolon. Others begin and end terribly. So our semicolon here is used to replace the word but. So I could have said, some people love football, but others just can't stand it. Some days are full of enjoyment, but others begin and end terribly. But instead of using the word but, I have put this special punctuation in my semicolon. Okay, can you have a look at our model text for me now and see if you can spot my some others sentence in there? Pause the video here for me. Well done if you spotted this sentence, which was my some others sentence. And of course, it's got that semicolon in between. Some people believe dogs can be a lovely addition to any family. Others feel they are hard work and a nuisance. So I had one point of view, and then I gave the other point of view. Today, we are going to have a go at writing some of our own some others sentences about dogs. So have a look at this picture here for me. What would you say is different about these two dogs? I would definitely agree that something that's different is obviously their size, isn't it? So my first sentence, we are going to have to begin it with the word some. I'm going to start by writing the word some, and then what could I say about these dogs? Some dogs are tiny. Some dogs are tiny. What punctuation would I need now? Some dogs are tiny. Well done if you said my semicolon. Some dogs are tiny, semicolon. What word do I need after my semicolon? Well done, I need the word others. Some dogs are tiny. Others are, what would we say about the others? Others are big. I could put that, but I think you're much better writers than that. Some dogs are tiny, semicolon. Others are as large as, what would we say that they are as large as? Others are as large as a small pony, maybe. So some dogs are tiny, semicolon. Others are as large as a small pony. You could maybe do something comparing what they look like for the different colours they are. Perhaps the fact that one of them has got patches and the other one is all one colour, all of their fur. Can you have a go for me at writing a some other sentence about this picture? You might choose to do yours about their size as well. Pause the video here for me. Fantastic work. Let's check a few things in our sentences. Did your sentence begin with the word some? Fantastic. Did you remember a semicolon after your first clause? Brilliant job. After your semicolon, did you have the word others? Super duper. And lastly, did you remember that all important full stop at the end? Hopefully you did. Okay, let's have a look at our next picture then. Oh, look at these two dogs. Very different personalities by the look of it. What could we say about these ones? How would you compare them? Pause the video here and have a think for me. What would your comparison be? Okay, so of course my sentence is going to begin with the word some. What could I say about these dogs? Some dogs like rolling around in the mud. I would say that's definitely my dog. My dog loves rolling around in the mud. Doesn't like getting his paws cleaned afterwards though. Some dogs like rolling around in the mud. What punctuation do I need now? Well done if you said semicolon. And of course the next word I need is the word others. Some dogs like rolling around in the mud. Semicolon. Others prefer to, what do we say they perhaps prefer to do? Others prefer to curl up in front of a warm, cozy fire. Okay, a few things to check. So I've got some, I've got my semicolon, I've got others. I always need to read back my sentence and just check it makes sense. Some dogs like rolling around in the mud. Others prefer to curl up in front of a warm fire. Lovely, so we've got our semicolon in the middle there. Okay, can you pause the video here for me and have a go at writing your own sentence comparing these dogs? Brilliant. Can you check for me that your semicolon had a comma, which should be sat on the line, and a almost like a full stop floating above it, which is in line with your letters? You see how it's the same height as my U there? It won't be the same height as my D, because my D is an ascender. It should go all the way to the top of my line. Okay, oh goodness me, look at this dog. What has it been up to? I can think of a comparison straight away for these dogs. Right, I'm going to start my sentence by saying some dogs are obedient. Can you remember what that word obedient means from our lesson yesterday? Obedient means that they follow the rules, doesn't it? That they're very good at listening to instructions. Which dog do you think that would be out of these two pictures? Yeah, I agree. Some dogs are obedient. Semicolon. Others just don't listen at all. Some dogs are obedient. Semicolon. Others just don't listen at all. Which one of those do you think my dog is at home? You can perhaps hear him in the background because he wants a stroke and I'm busy recording my video. Some dogs are obedient. Semicolon. Others just don't listen at all. Okay, pause the video here for me and see if you can have a go at writing your own some other sentence about these two pictures. Okay, super job. So the things that we need to remember then about our some other sentences. Our first word has to be the word some, and of course it needs a capital letter at the beginning. We need a semicolon after our first clause, and then we have the word others. And we're making two comparisons. Would it make sense for me to say some dogs are obedient, others are obedient? No, because that's not two opposite points of view, is it? So we've got to have opposite points of view in there. Okay, right, your challenge today then. Let's have a look at what we will be doing. So there are 3 challenges for you to do today. The first challenge is to complete the some other sentences which are on the worksheet. So you need to fill in the blanks. Challenge 2 is to write your own some other sentences, and I've put some pictures onto the worksheet to help you. And challenge 3 is to write your own some other sentences, but coming up with your own unique ideas. So using your own ideas rather than the pictures that I have given you. So if we have a look at the worksheet quickly, it looks like this today. So here's challenge 1. We are filling in the blanks. What would you say? Some dogs like to around in the mud. Others prefer to by the fire. Have a think about what words you would put into those gaps. Then challenge 2, I have put some different pictures on here for you, and you can think about how you would compare those dogs. Perhaps here you might compare the jobs that they do. Maybe on this one you might compare if they're very loud or if they're quite quiet and timid. On this one maybe you might compare where they sleep. Maybe in a kennel. Maybe they prefer to be in their cage. Maybe they might sleep on a dog bed. Or maybe they have a part of the sofa they like to sleep on. Perhaps you could do the size again. Maybe you could do the age. This one looks like a little puppy to me. Maybe you could do the markings. So this one has lots of spots. This one has some patches. And then lastly, challenge 3 was to write your own some other sentences using your own fantastic ideas. Please remember to send us in those fantastic sentences when you are done so we can have a look at your wonderful work.